In today's video, we're going to be going over every single men's UFC champion and determining how likely it is for them to move up a weight class and get a second belt. Starting off with the current light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira versus the current heavyweight champion Jon Jones. It should be Tom Aspinall, but hey, that's for another video. But off the bat, I am not liking this matchup for Pereira. I think it'll go down literally the exact same way how Jon Jones versus Cyril Gane went, with 10 overall punches being landed and a submission off the first takedown attempt. With that being said, Pereira does always have a puncher's chance, and one of those 10 punches landed could be right on the button and put him out, but Jones won't entertain a matchup on the feet. I think his fight IQ was a bit too high for that. Moving on to the middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis against Alex Pereira, and if this fight was at middleweight, I would definitely have a different answer, but at light heavyweight, Alex is just a different monster. I see Dricus lunging in forward with the big meaty hooks like he did against Israel Adesanya and getting clipped with a left hook. It can definitely be more competitive if Dricus decides to wrestle from the first minute the bell rings, but if he decides to not go that path, in which he'll most likely do, he'll be able to finish the job that Israel Adesanya wasn't able to do. Next up, we have Belal the Decision Muhammad, and the middleweight champion is Dricus du Plessis. There's no way Belal can decision his way to this one. Even though Dricus is only 2 inches taller than Belal, he's definitely the bigger man overall, and I don't see Belal's typical game plan of wrestling you and holding you down working this time, as Dricus is 100% stronger than Belal, and it really is one of the worst matchups for Belal because not only can Dricus wrestle, he can strike with you as well, and I also don't see Belal getting any respect from Dricus on the feet, eventually leading to Dricus by TKO. And now we finally have somebody that's able to get the second belt, Islam Makhachev versus Belal Muhammad. Islam should be pound for pound number 1 right now, even though we said he won't go up a division to fight Belal Muhammad because they're training partners and friends. He definitely has the capability to do so. I see him being able to negate the wrestling with his own, and overall outstriking Belal. I think he's a better fighter everywhere the fight goes, and I genuinely think he'd be able to finish the fight however he wants. If he wants a submission, decision, or TKO finish, he'd definitely be able to do so. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it definitely gets interesting. I've been going back and forth about the Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria matchup all day, and while I do think Ilia can definitely present some troubles to Islam, especially with the boxing, it's really just night and day between the two. I'm gonna ultimately have to go with Ilia Topuria. You thought I was going a different direction with that, huh? It might just be the recency bias, but I'm really high on Ilia Topuria right now. And call me crazy, but I don't think Islam Makhachev has faced an opponent with one punch KO power like Ilia Topuria has. And yeah, you can say Dustin Poirier or Charles Oliveira, but when Ilia Topuria touches your chin, he knocks you the fuck out. I also believe he'd be able to stuff all the takedowns, as Ilia was originally a grappler, and Islam is one of the only champions that's not afraid to take a risk. He will box with Ilia Topuria, and I think that's going to be one of his main downfalls in that matchup, and I ultimately see Ilia getting the TKO. Moving on down to Merab Dvalishvili versus Ilia Topuria, there's not much of a breakdown for this one. Ilia knocks him out within 2 rounds, 100%. And now for the final champion on this list, we have Alexandre Pantoja versus Merab Dvalishvili. And in this matchup, I see Merab doing Merab, going for takedowns every 10 seconds, and just outpacing Alexandre Pantoja to a unanimous decision. I would like to say that this would be competitive, but I just think Merab is too big for Pantoja, as he's a problem that hasn't even been figured out at 135 yet, and he's only getting better and better. But that's gonna be all I have for you guys today. Let me know what champion you think would be able to obtain double champ status.